Hello, educator friends. I hope your 2024 is off to a great start. Welcome. We are back. Episode 9 of the School Life series. This is our first one in the new year. This fall, we had some really incredible educators on, and we had some great conversations about their educational journey, topics of expertise, and just how we can all work together to improve the school life for everyone in education. So today we have another special guest with us giving a brand new perspective, and that is middle school. So David is a middle school history teacher from North Carolina. He does a lot of really impactful work with the North Carolina Middle Level Educators Association, which is how we met. We're going to talk more about that in this episode. But David, I just want to thank you for taking the time to talk together today, share some of your passions and your insights into middle level education.
Thanks for having me, Ross. I'm ecstatic to be with you today.
Yeah, thanks. So I like to start out with just telling us about you, the person, right? Your personal side. So who are you? What are some of your passions? What do we got?
Very good. My name is David James. I am from Charlotte, North Carolina, originally from Dayton, Ohio, a small town known as Miamisburg. I got my teaching career started out of Ohio University in 2007. I moved down to North Carolina in about 2010. Took my first teaching job here at a school known as Harold E. Winkler Middle School in Cabarrus County. And I teach social studies for seventh graders on a daily basis. And it is a great time. It is a new day every single day, as my middle school teachers know all about. But I've been here at Harold Winkler Middle School for about 9 years total. I did do 4 years of an assistant principalship position with Cabarrus County Schools, which gives me a really fresh and great perspective as far as teaching goes back in the classroom. But back in the classroom here at Winkler Middle School, loving every bit of it. I've got a great administrative team that supports me every day, and I'm just proud to be a Winkler Wolf. I'm proud to serve 125 students on a daily basis, including their families. And like I said, we're just moving this building forward on a daily basis here in the seventh grade hallway.
That's awesome. Yeah, I love your journey. We talked a little bit about that before we started recording, but I really love your perspective. You know, as a teacher, you've been in that administrative seat and you're in the teacher seat. And so you can provide a little bit of a buffer, I'm sure, within your building, which is great to have for teachers and both your administrators, which it sounds like you've got some great ones. David, I didn't realize. So I live just east of Richmond, or excuse me, just west of Richmond, Indiana. So yeah, we're not too far from each other there back in your roots. I do know where Little Miamisburg is at.
Yeah, that's funny you mentioned that. When I was growing up and playing minor league baseball, we had a tournament in Richmond, Indiana. So, yep, I know where you're at, your neck of the woods as well. But I'll tell you, Ross, living in Ohio is not for me. Going to Ohio University was certainly for me. But after I graduated from there, my wife and I, Erin, lived in Cleveland, Ohio for a little bit. She took a job in Cleveland. We got married in Columbus. And guess what? We were ready to make a leap to do something else. And
Yeah.
thankfully, that opportunity came to me in 2011 when a gentleman emailed me kind of out of the blue and provided me an opportunity to teach seventh grade here just outside of Charlotte. And like you said about the administrative team, that perspective that I can offer for them as a buffer to the teachers on the hallway, I think is super important. I get a lot of, I can provide them a lot of feedback that is honest from different perspectives. And I've also kind of given the opportunity to offer feedback to teachers in a way that is not evaluative, but kind of gives that administrative position piece as well, because everybody's working hard in the building, and some of us just don't have that perspective because we've never walked in those shoes, and that's okay. But it's definitely something that has taken my teaching to the next level as well. I would say I'm twice the teacher that I was before I left to become an assistant principal here at a neighboring school. And it's made me a better educator. It's made me a better person. It's made me a better father. And it's just really opened up my eyes to the whole building, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes total sense. And yeah, you can kind of see the whole umbrella of the education system. I love that. And I will say, my last few years of teaching, I taught fifth and sixth grade social studies, so I was close to seventh grade there. And I miss the kids. I miss those kids. I love that age and even the smell that comes with it. There's nothing like a cold recess day and they come in and that the aroma that just follows them into the classroom.
It's
But
so funny you mentioned that. Just yesterday, my teaching partner next door, my math teacher, I said, "Oh my goodness, they must have all had gym today because we have those classes right after encore classes." And yeah, middle school is an interesting time in the adolescent learner's life. And the North Carolina Association for Middle Level Education is the only organization in North Carolina that advocates for these kids because
yeah,
they are special, boy. And we'll talk more about NCMLE, but
yeah,
I love the middle school life. Like I said, I've been here for about 13 years with Cabarrus County Schools, and I have not set foot in a different building, and I don't have any plans to do anything different.
that's cool. That is cool. Yeah, you said it. I mean, middle school kids are special, right? And it takes a special person to teach them. Like my wife is a kindergarten teacher, and I could never do it. I mean, I bless her heart. Like there's no way. And she would say the same thing, right? About a middle school teacher. She said the same thing about me. But what kind of teacher are you? How do you connect with your seventh graders?
Yeah, a few probably personal characteristics that I would say about myself is that I'm incredibly passionate.
Mhm.
I believe teaching has to come with passion, and the kids see that, right? Like if they don't see that you are into the subject you teach, if they don't see that they are into you as a person, they are not going to connect with you. I'm incredibly passionate as a social studies educator. I love my topic. I think it's one of the most important topics and subjects that we can teach kids, especially at this level, especially with the society in which we live.
Yeah.
So it's about being passionate. I think it's also about being hardworking. We connect with kids because we work our tails off, and they see that and they respect that. Kids respect me for the work that I do. Kids respect me for how passionate I am. Parents respect me for the hard work that I do as well. We can talk about, you know, why we became a teacher and all of those things, but what it boils down to for me right now is being passionate,
Mhm.
and being hardworking and showing that to kids as well. And in turn, they reciprocate that
Yep.
work and that passion as well.
Yeah, they're going to respect you 100 times more. They're going to work 1,000 times harder for you. Kids smell it, right? If you're in there for the paycheck, if you're there just because you got to be there, you're not going to get everything out of them. But I
Yep.
love that. And if teachers that are listening take anything away, I hope they hear that, right? And I would tell teachers a lot, like if you are teaching kindergarten, and you say my heart just isn't in it, right? I'm not passionate about this. I strongly encourage everyone to reach out to your administrator or look at either other schools and look at other options and find the area that you are passionate about, because that is going to make you such a better teacher if you are enjoying the level, the content that you're teaching. Because if you're not, then you're not going to enjoy your job. Why are we doing something if we're not having fun and enjoying what we're doing? So
Yeah, and one other point about that, I think we have to take it upon ourselves to do those things, right? We can't wait for people to do that for us. And I
yeah,
think that's an important point, Ross. I think it's also important to connect with others that may help you along that journey. Yourself and others that we've connected with through NCMLE has really kind of taken my passion of education to the next level in the last year. And a lot of these people I have never even met, but seeing and connecting with them on social media can be incredibly positive. And by doing that, we see the great work that is being done across the country. And we tell ourselves, man, I can do that.
hmm
I was born to do that. And that really has
yeah.
helped me along on tough
No,
days as well. Whenever you're
I
having a
really
tough
like
day,
that.
don't go to
Like,
social media
when you
to talk
surround
about.
yourself with people that inspire you, it lights a fire that you don't like. You thought you were hungry and passionate before, and then you surround yourself with people like that, and it's just like, okay, here we go, right? Let's take this to the next level. And like you said, like when you connect with people across the country that are doing these things, you realize I can do that right here in North Carolina with my
Mhm.
seventh graders with this building. It's not, out of reach. Like we can do this if we're working together and we're surrounding ourselves. And one thing I was always surprised about, you hit on this, like when you're talking to other people from around the country, like how open educators really are. It's easy for us as educators to be kind of closed minded or be in our classroom or our building and doing our thing and not reaching out for help or questions. But when you start reaching out, like I remember like reaching out to Dave Burgess one time, and like he messaged me back and I was blown away. This was my first year as principal, and I just asked him, hey, would you do a 10-minute Zoom with the staff before we start the school year. And guess what? He did it and didn't charge me a dime. Like, I was blown away, but it's just because he is passionate about education. He wants to do that, and so people like that you think are just incredibly talented and busy, and he is a busy man, but they are willing to help people in education. And at the
Yeah,
end of the
that's
day, they're helping kids, right?
Yeah, that's a wonderful story. Let me tell you a quick story real quick about reaching out to others as well. This 2 years ago, Cabarrus County Schools participated in a full county book study of Culturize by Jimmy Casas.
Yeah.
And Harold Winkler Middle School, our school, really bought into it and did a lot of table talks, and our staff meetings really surrounded around that book. And it really took our culture to the next level. We did an amazing job in the last 2 years. Well, Jimmy put out a tweet. It's been about 2 months ago, celebrating the 7-year anniversary of Culturize, stating that send me a video of 1 to 3 minutes how your school is celebrating or living out one of the principles of Culturize. So I did it. I sent him a video and we won. Jimmy is coming to Harold Winkler Middle School in November to do a free 90-minute professional development with this school. And
Wow.
yeah, so
Yeah.
it's amazing. If you go to
Yeah.
my Twitter page,
I like
Heroic History 22,
Yeah.
you will see a pinned tweet about Winkler Middle School winning the nationwide contest of the 7-year anniversary of Culturize. And you can watch the video right there.
Yeah.
And, thanks to Jimmy, we're going to do that. And we're going to open up the school year next year with Jimmy Casas, the
Yeah.
author of Culturize, in our building.
Wow, that's awesome. Jimmy is a great guy. And again, just one of those outstanding leaders in education. Culturize is one of the best books out there if you're looking to do any type of culture work within your building. And so, yeah, that's awesome. But cool story. Just, just like, why not, right? It didn't take you that long to put that video together. And yeah, the dollar amount that you're getting to have Jimmy flood is impressive. So well worth the time it took. That's awesome. A couple more, questions just about you, David. Who I really like this question, but who influenced you both personally and passionately? Excuse me, personally and professionally through your life and your journey.
Yeah, I've had a few people that have really pushed me in my leadership in the building, really to the next level in my time here at Winkler Middle School. But professionally, I'm going to talk about 3 individuals. One's name is Dr. Michael Williams. Michael Williams is part of the Human Resources Department now here with Cabarrus County Schools. But when he walked in the door on the first day that I walked in the door and gave social studies professional development back in 2010, I knew I wanted to connect with him. He taught social studies here with Cabarrus County Schools. He was a curriculum specialist in the social studies department. He then became the assistant principal of Winkler Middle School, my school, the principal, and really helped me along the way into being an assistant principal. So he really took my leadership to the next level, and it really helped me get that AP job, here with Cabarrus County Schools. And then when I came out of that role, he was the first that I called and said, "Hey, do you mind if I come back to Winkler and come back in the social studies building, and social studies room?" And he said, "Absolutely." So he welcomed me back here. And he is the one individual that I can always text and always look at, ask the hard questions to, whether it's, my national board certifications or whether it's leadership at the middle school level or leadership at the district level. So, he's one that has really opened my eyes professionally and led me in different ways in leadership. The next person that my principal right now, Rebecca Phillips, she is also the secretary of the North Carolina Middle Level Educators Group. And she is a phenomenal open door, whatever you need principal and leader here with Cabarrus County Schools. She's going into her third year, finishing her third year as principal. And she's phenomenal. And she is going to go a long way in this county and beyond. She listens, she's patient, she is teacher centered, and she makes decisions with everybody in mind. And that really goes a long way with her staff. When Dr. Williams left and Rebecca became the principal, everybody cheered. And it was an amazing moment. Like, everybody in the room was upset that Dr. Williams was going to the county to be the director of human resources.
Yeah.
But we knew that what was next for Winkler Middle School was going to be phenomenal. And she has led this building in a way that has taken our academic success to a at-risk school to new heights here at Winkler Middle School. So I am inspired by her. and the work that she does. And I really appreciate her work professionally.
That's awesome. Now, I'm inspired just hearing you describe who she is. But yeah, administrators like that don't come by every day, right? And when you get an opportunity to work with one, not even for one, like because administrators like that, you don't work for, right? You work with them side by side, and like you said, they are centered for the teachers and doing what's best for everybody, not just one group of people. That is special. So cool. Thank you for sharing that about both of them. And it sounds like your county is lucky to have both of them um,
Very much.
right there in North Carolina. That's cool. And then the last question that we're going to, before we go into our open floor time, is do you have a game changer or a hack when it comes to teaching seventh graders? Something that has just like saved you a ton of time, energy, been best for your students.
That is a great question. I'm going to go to something that is so simple and so easy, but definitely changes everything that I do. And it's something that maybe for our BTs out there that could really help them along the way. Um, I am not a fan of keeping students in the hallway and waiting by the door. And this is probably something that you see in your building a lot of times, and maybe something that you subscribe to. And you may have your reasons for doing this, but I love to get my kids in the classroom, out of the hallway where middle school students find mischief. And I
Yes.
like them working at it immediately. So, two things that we can do, and I'm talking to the beginning teachers there, mostly that this may help with some classroom management, specifically at the middle level, getting them in the room and passing out your papers as they walk in. So this is going to save you in multiple ways. Number one, you are keeping an eye on the hallway like your administrative team has asked you to do. You are welcoming students into the room by handing them a piece of paper and looking them in the eye and saying welcome. And then finally, when they walk in the room, they have something to do. So we got 3 things that we're checking off our list right there. And then honestly, passing out papers is the worst thing in the world. And passing out papers and stopping instruction is really a time waster as well. So by doing that, getting out of your seat, getting to the door, monitoring the hallway, passing out papers, getting them started when they walk in is going to be is a classroom management hack that I think
Yeah.
helps a lot for middle school students.
Yeah, that's great. I hope our middle school teachers are listening. Take that because, yeah, you're checking off more than one. And for me, I'm always been about relationships, right? And that kid walks in the door, and you greet them by name, look them in the eye, and also you check the temperature of that student. If they come in, their heads down, their hoods up, or whatever, something's wrong, right? You maybe need to give that student a little extra attention this class period, or vice versa, right? So that's cool. I really like that. All right, so we're going to dive into our open floor now. And if you have some more middle school level hacks you want to share, feel free because that one was great. And I know our listeners would love hearing more. But I know you want to talk about what you're really passionate about and some of the really heavy work that you're doing that's making an incredible impact in North Carolina for middle level educators, but also across the nation here now. And this is catching on. I will say, I've been watching on Twitter and people are talking and saying what's going on because you've got some really incredible people that's coming here. Gosh, in less than 2 months to Charlotte. So yeah, David, dive in, talk NCMLE, middle school, whatever you want here. Go ahead.
I appreciate the time, Ross, and I appreciate you having me today. Middle school education is such a special time, and the middle school educator is such a special person. What I would like to focus the time on here is just making sure that as a middle school teacher and any teacher, that you are connected to these organizations that are helping you, that are keeping it positive, and that are moving your professional growth in the right direction. And I am proud that the North Carolina Association of Middle Sorry about that.
You're a
The North
popular guy, David. It's probably your son. Dad, where's the snacks?
Yeah. The North Carolina Association for Middle Level Education is exactly that here in North Carolina. NCMLE is an organization that advocates for middle level learners and the adolescent brain. And we are excited to welcome over 500 individuals into Charlotte here. And like you said, in about 2 months to learn, to network, to grow, and to just, come together and fill each other's buckets as we get into these spring months, as we get into the end of the school year. NCMLE is a phenomenal group that if you are in one of your states, that I would really encourage you to look into an organization that you can be a part of, an organization that has professional growth at the forefront of their work, and is working for you to be better as an educator, as a person, and in a growth mindset overall. To speak a little bit more about our conference,
Yeah.
March 24th through the 26th, we are welcoming all these individuals into Charlotte, North Carolina, and we have you, Mr. Ross Braun, coming in, and we have Jonathan Alsheimer from Virginia. We've got Baruti Kafele coming in from New Jersey. We have got LaQuanta Nelson coming in. We have got all these people from across the nation that are coming into Charlotte, North Carolina as featured speakers. And this is a conference that has nationwide type of mojo at a statewide budget and a statewide price. And if you'd like to follow us on those social media accounts, it is NC Middle at Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, and on TikTok. And I am the marketing director, and I love to see our pages just hopping all the time with all of these EDU experts from across the nation, just tagging us and just showing all the great things that are going on. But we, the North Carolina Middle Level Association, is going to have all of them in Charlotte, North Carolina, March 24th through the 26th. So go to ncmle.org to register your team today, and we will look forward to seeing you.
I'm fired up. Like, just all of those names that you mentioned in one setting doesn't happen. I mean, I've been involved in several, national organizations, and they can't get people like that all in one location for what you're doing. And I know, I mean, I was included. I'm like, how's this guy doing this? And I know there are a lot of people are saying that, but it takes passionate people like you, David, to do it. And I see your passion. I saw it from the get go. I saw what you're trying to do. People believe in that, and when people get behind it, special things happen, and that's what's going to happen in March here. And Charlotte is a beautiful city. I'm bringing my family with me, by the way, to the conference that they're coming. I think we're going to sneak away and go a little farther east after the conference is over because it's their spring break. So I'm excited, and personally too. Like I'm really excited to network and connect and learn from all of these amazing people that are going to be there. Like I want to be setting in these sessions, and I know you're even providing an opportunity for all of us to sit down together, which is great. And like I said, you're doing things that happen at national level, but then like I've never had an opportunity to network and grow with other speakers like that. And so you are doing innovative things that's not happening at the national level that I hope everybody can take and continue to do. So thank you. Yeah, this work is awesome. I'm excited. School Life, where I'm the VP of Business Development for, we're a gold sponsor for this conference. I'm really excited to be a part of it, and hopefully, take that and make an impact too in North Carolina and middle level students. So
Well, we certainly appreciate you as a sponsor there, and we appreciate you coming in. Looking forward to all of that. And you mentioned a few things there. I've had conversations with different individuals about the featured speakers list, and I think our featured speakers are going to connect with our middle level educators on a different level than maybe some nationwide conferences. I think every conference has a mood, it has a tone, and I think we got the best featured speakers list that money can buy right there in Charlotte, North Carolina. So it's going to be good. And we've got a lot of vendors that are coming in that you would want to visit. School Life will be there, absolutely. And then we've got karaoke night, we've got trivia night, we've got over 120 breakout sessions. And this is not just for middle level educators of North Carolina. If you are from out of town and you want to bring your family to Charlotte, stay in a hotel for a few nights and learn a little bit and network, you are welcome to join us.
Yeah, that's cool. And I encourage anybody that's listening, do it. Come if you can make it work, because you're getting something special. You're going to be a part of something special. So, David, as we wrap up, man, you're passionate. You don't lie. You are a very passionate guy, and I'm going to leave our conversation excited, not just for the conference, but excited to go back to work and do my role with even more passion and fire. So thanks for that. But we always end with two things. What would be your advice? You already gave some to beginning teachers, but what would be your advice just to any educator, whether they're in college, going into education, a veteran 20-year teacher? what advice do you give to educators right now? I mean, it's 2024. Education is no joke, right? We are in strange times in education, that is for sure. What advice are you giving?
Yeah. One thing I heard Jimmy Costa say on a podcast recently, he said, "Nobody decides my weather." And I think that's really important. And I think we need to seek positivity. I think we need to find that for ourselves. I leave this building every day in one of two moods. I could come back the next day with the best mood I possibly can for kids or not.
Yeah.
And that's up to me. And that's what I would give advice for teachers.
Love that. Love that. Write that down, everybody, because yep, we need it. And I say that I want to be a positivity promoter, right? And promote as much positivity to others as I possibly can. And what advice are you giving to your students?
So this is what I wrote in the school yearbook for this year. I would love all my students to understand that, you're only here for 3 years and you need to leave this place a better place than what you got here. I would love for them to take this advice as to not only leave this space a better place, but take pride in what you're doing, take pride in your work, take pride in your friendships, and take pride in your middle level years, because you're going to go into your freshman year and you're going to think to yourself, man, that was awesome. And I want to go back there.
Yeah.
I hear it every single year.
Yeah. Last thing that I want to just tag onto that too is what I loved about coaching middle level. I coached cross country and track and teaching at that level, like those years, and you mentioned the brain a little bit ago, but those years developmentally are so important, right? Like those kids are becoming who they're going to be for the rest of their life. And in their middle school years are usually pretty awkward years, right? That's when we
Mhm.
all have our worst hairstyles, or seventh, eighth grade. But we're trying to figure out who we are. And so to have people like you that are there to wrap your arms around them and say, hey, let me help you out a little
Mhm.
bit.
Mhm.
And let's make sure that you leave better than when you arrived here in the sixth grade is just remarkable. So thank you. Anything else you want to share with us, David?
No, man, I appreciate the
Yeah.
conversation and everything you're doing.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, thank you again. I'll see you in a little over a month. And really, thank you again to NCMLE for all your work and everything you're doing. As always, shout out to School Life for sponsoring this. And until next time, be great today.